Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, we are in the middle of election season, and while we certainly know everything there is to know about one of the two candidates, the second one seems to just, be running from the media. So we're trying to kind of piece together where she's coming from on a lot of issues. And of course, the one that matters mostly to us here at Washington Gun Law is where does she stand on your otherwise inalienable Second Amendment rights? And the report card is not good. We're actually going to have to go back, take a look at her own words as it relates to various subjects, and I get that taking her words at face value can be a little risky, but it's really the best we got, because as we know, when she tries to explain something, it's not going to do us any good with clarification. But there's a lot to be worried about here, and there's some food for thought. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about, well, she's at least willing to raid your home for this. What do you got there, man?
Tack Pack.
Oh, sweet. A Tack Pack? Nice.
Oh, what's a Tack Pack?
That's the new sponsor of the channel.
So what's in a Tack Pack?
Oh, what's in a Tack Pack? Well, here's the best thing. It is a monthly subscription of all sorts of tactical gear. And I mean, they got a lot of really cool stuff. The best part about it is that they actually have two separate subscription models. So they got their Tack Pack Standard, which ships at $59.95 a month. Best thing about that is it really has a value of about somewhere between $90 and $120. And then they got the Tack Pack Plus. Now that ships at $139.95 a month, but, oh, check this out. They actually have a value of somewhere between $240 and $300.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super cool, and here's the coolest part yet, because if you sign up right now for the Tack Pack Plus and you use the promo code GUNLAWYT, you're going to get an extra $60 everyday carry kit, which means that your initial investment for less than $140, you're going to be ended up getting over $300 worth of tactical gear. Listen, look at some of the cool things you're going to get if you subscribe to Tack Pack today. So get down there, check out the link below, make sure you use the promo code GUNLAWYT. Check out Tack Pack. Okay, America, this is what we are talking about. We are talking about Vice President Kamala Harris and her current presidential campaign. Many of us are wondering exactly where does she come down on a lot of issues. She's put no policy out. She won't do interviews with the media. She flip-flops, and when she does try to explain something, it's nothing but an exhausting word salad. But she has been rather vocal in her absolute hatred towards all of you, the lawful and responsible gun-owning American. Now, if you think that that's hyperbole, if you think, well, Bill, you're just getting a little sensational there, well, let's just take a look at her own words. Do you remember her appearance on the Jimmy Fallon show when she was asked this question?
Do you believe in the mandatory buyback of quote-unquote assault weapons?
I do believe that we need to do buybacks, and I'll tell you why. They are weapons of war, with no place on the streets of a civil society.
Okay, and I want you to pay attention that the question was about mandatory gun buybacks, not voluntary buybacks, where some local law enforcement departments will do that, where if you want to turn a gun in, they'll give you a gift card or something like that. No, this is mandatory gun buybacks, which is actually code word for confiscation. Because if you're not willing to sell the gun back, what becomes of the gun? Do we honestly believe that law enforcement says, okay, no harm, no foul? No, it's either you sell it back to us or we're just going to confiscate the darn thing. So that's what her position was then. But she's taken it one step further, you see, because she said that, hey, listen, if Congress doesn't act, well, she'll just assume complete and supreme power and do it through executive action. Don't believe me? Well,
I will give the United States Congress 100 days to get their act together and have the courage to pass reasonable gun safety laws. And if they fail to do it, then I will take executive action.
Now, I know a lot of you may still be saying, yeah, okay, but would she actually be willing to send governmental agents into a home to round up guns? Well, let's go back in our time machine just a few years ago when her and then Mayor Gavin Newsom of San Francisco were pushing for California's safe storage law. What did then Attorney General Harris have to say about it?
Responsible behaviors among everybody in the community, and just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible and safe in the way you conduct your affairs.
Okay, so if she's willing to force her way into an otherwise lawful and responsible citizen's home just to check on how securely and safely they are storing their firearm, does anyone think that she's not willing to go in there and actually round up and confiscate guns that she has banned through executive order? Now, if you think that a would-be President Kamala Harris would just be hell on wheels and sending federal agents in for all sorts of enforcement things, you're wrong. Yeah, if she wants to come and round up your guns, a otherwise lawful activity, she's more than willing to do that. But if you are engaged in what is absolutely positively per se illegal activity, well, she probably is not willing to do anything about that. What am I talking about? I'm talking about deportation of illegal immigrants, because recently, and this is very recent, what did Vice President Harris have to say about that?
We all remember what they did to tear families apart. And now they have pledged to carry out the largest deportation, a mass deportation in American history. Imagine what that would look like and what that would be. How's that going to happen? Massive raids? Massive detention camps? What are they talking about?
Okay, what does that look like? What does that look like? Well, Madam Vice President, what does it look like when you start sending federal or state agents to the homes of lawful and responsible gun owners who lawfully and responsibly purchase their firearm, have never done anything wrong with it, and you are now demanding that they surrender their firearms? Yeah, the question is, what does that look like? Or more importantly, what does that sound like? Because if those days happen, there's going to be some jurisdictions in the United States that are going to get really, really noisy for a while. So yeah, she is willing to send agents into the home of lawful and responsible gun owners, but she is not willing to do it to the people whose very existence inside the United States constitutes criminal activity. Now, the bottom line is if you really think there's just going to be this big push of federal agents running around neighborhoods, kicking in doors, the likelihood of that happening is incredibly remote. But I would pay very careful attention to how federal agents rounded up some of the January 6th protesters, because there wasn't a lot of raids on homes. No, instead they waited for them to be at a grocery store or at a hardware store, be driving to work or something like that, and they plucked them one by one. And so if we ever see a massive federal confiscation effort of firearms, that, in my opinion, is the way it's most likely going to be conducted, because it would be safer both for the agents that are conducting it and probably a little less newsworthy. Listen, we're going to go ahead and link up everything she said down below. We always bring the receipts so that you guys can geek out on it for yourself. The bottom line is, if elected president, she is absolutely positively coming after your Second Amendment rights, and she is absolutely positively coming after your firearms. If you got any more questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. If you don't, that's okay. That information's down there in the description box. Maybe you got an idea for a video we should be doing around here. If you do, go ahead and click on that link right there. Let us know. It's probably better than any idea we're going to come up with. Maybe you just want to subscribe to our monthly newsletter. The ability to do all of that is down there in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.